Hi, Chris.
I wanted to explain this right here. There is a crowdfunding campaign that just launched yesterday. It's called Shark Trap. And I wanted to bring on the filmmaker to talk about this for a couple reasons. One, I love shark movies. Okay. I love shark movies. What can I say? And by the way, the link will be in the description for this YouTube video. But Shark Trap is made by someone who's an experienced indie filmmaker. Not a, this is not a first timer. Paul Tomborello is a guy who makes low budget indie movies. He gets it done, he gets it out, he gets it sold, he gets it made. And just as a way of reference, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make you aware of this project so that you can, a couple things. One, you could contribute to the crowdfunder. We talk about different crowdfunding campaigns every once in a while. Additionally, I think if you are going to do your own crowdfunding campaign, this is a great way for you to learn. So I want to bring Paul on the show to talk about Shark Trap, to talk about the campaign, to talk about his past films, because why? I want you to learn. There's over 300 people watching us live. If you want to raise money for an independent film, Paul right now trying to raise 50 grand, not necessarily to get the movie, but to get like other effects and whatnot. That's his goal. Let's bring Paul on the show right now. We'll talk to him. We'll check in on the campaign. Here we go. I had it all set up. Where did it go? Where did it go? No, I had a thing all set up. Give me a second here, folks. While I set this up, let's bring Paul on right here. There we go. Paul, how's it going, man?
Hey, Paul.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi, both.
Hey, let's do this. Wait, sorry, we're usually more organized than this. There we go. Yeah. Paul, how's it going, man?
Not bad. Thanks again for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
One of the biggest questions, and first of all, congratulations on the launch of the campaign. It's not even been 24 hours. And you're already like 10% of the way.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it's obviously it's a process, but yeah, we a lot of my movies, the last two movies that we did, the sales company actually provided the budget for us, and then I went ahead and hired all the actors and the crew. So we were kind of in charge in doing that movie for the sales companies. But my early days were kind of going back to the early days where we would raise just money from equity investors. And kind of going back that direction just because I like to have a little bit more control over the post-production and the effects. I just did a shark movie. It films pretty much the same time as last year as this one, November last year. And then we released it in the summer and with Shark Week. And it's a Walmart exclusive currently. So if you do go into Walmart physically right now, you can pick up a copy of Shark. Alien Shark is the movie. But yeah, I do have to say that, the sales company kind of runs with it. I wish I could have had a say on some of the effects and some of the post, but sometimes that's not what you get. So with this one, we're doing equity investment, and then this specific campaign is to ensure that we have a good CGI shark, that we have good post-production, and it's released with a little bit more of my creative input. So that's kind of why we're doing this campaign, and I think there's a lot of value if I was going to set up my production company to engage with fans. I think that's important. I mentioned in the video a little bit about taking a little bit more of the control back. I don't know where it's going to go, but I think there is going to be a little bit of a shift. I think fans are going to have a little bit more say in the content, or should, rather than just relying on, studio executives. I think fans should have a vote, which movie poster do you like? What are some plot points that you guys kind of enjoy. And then also taking it a step further, and we're offering pre-sale digital copies, but also attending the movie premiere and even becoming an associate producer. So that's kind of the idea, is to do post, to CGI, own control of that, and then to get movie people on board, and just have a little bit of creative input and just be fun. That we're giving away small roles. I am casting, so the roles are going to have professional actors, but it's also fun if you have a couple lines as a stand-in. And I think that's kind of a cool thing that we can give away, and that's kind of what we're doing.
Well, I mean, if Hollywood was going to make a shark movie now, they'd probably make the shark gay. Let's be honest. It would be a gay shark movie. But look, the reason I want to have you on to talk about this is, one, I invest in Kickstarters myself. Okay. And a lot of people already in the chat are saying that they jumped in, but they jumped in the pool. And you've got a great tagline for the movie. What's the tagline again?
Come on in the water's blood.
I love it. And with shark movies, sort of like our recurring thing. If you look at our Instagram, I keep track of every shark movie that's coming out this past year at Award This. We had a shark movie category because there were so many shark movies being made. There's just something about it. It's like, as a subgenre, there's something about shark films that are just incredibly compelling. But a lot of the number one question I get from filmmakers, the number one question, how do I get money for a movie? And what I'm hoping is you can answer that question, and we can check in on the campaign again before you close, before like the end of the month, before the end of the 30 days campaign. But there's a lot of questions in the chat, so you mind taking some chat questions?
Cool.
Live?
I don't see questions.
I'll read them to you.
Yeah, we'll read them.
I'll read them.
Okay.
Back Fiendish 2 on Indiegogo says, I'm in. Shelby AC says, it's a trap. Mr. Smith says, I went to the theater to see Black Phone, loved it. Did they consider it a flop? No, Black Phone was a success. Made a lot of money.
160 million so far.
60 million for Black Phone.
160 million worldwide.
160 million. 60 million. So it basically made 12 times as much money as Bros. All right. Davina Duckworth says, for Paul, is filming underwater insanely expensive?
That's a great question. It's not too much. We're not going to get crazy a lot of like under POV shots. We're not going to go crazy on that. But, really what the expenses, Brandon, he's in the video, our cinematographer, he has a red V-Raptor camera. So if he chooses to use some of the underwater shot with that, then, then it's a matter of like, yeah, we're going to have to go out of our way to get an expensive underwater rig for that camera. But you can also get, a very inexpensive GoPro that shoots like 4K. And there's a little bit of a transition, but it's underwater shots. So I foresee us kind of going on a kind of a 4K shot with the underwater, or really up to Brandon. But there's inexpensive ways to do it. And that's probably where I would go with it, as far as if I had to save on production costs, get a GoPro that's
Cool.
That's 4K. Yeah.
Cool. Let's go to these super chats here. Danger UXO for 20 says, thanks for making us aware of the project. Just backed. And here is the tip Indiegogo was asking for. Film Threat needs it more. Thanks, guys. Thank you for that, Danger UXO. AKNTE, A Night for $9.99. Chris, I have seen you rage twice over the past week on other channels. I suggest going for the run and Audible, the Jack Carr series, Terminal List. It's 10 times better than the show. That has been recommended to me several times. Davina Duckworth has another question. Does the shark have a name?
Hey, if you want to pay to name the shark, you can definitely do that.
All right, suggestions in the chat for the name of the shark.
Yeah, that's
suggestions. Patrick Lemire says sharksploitation. That is a genre, would you say?
Oh, 100%. On the producers front, what I've learned is if you can, on an independent level, if you can target niches, that serves you very well, which is kind of funny. And this not only goes, like, I know it's very powerful going into the summer with a shark movie, because the content guys like Tubi and even Netflix or even Hulu, Amazon, whoever you want to get distribution through, they're craving shark movies. They know there's a marketplace, an audience marketplace for that. So, and that doesn't even go through shark movies specifically. That goes for, if you want to do an indie movie, making it simple is to almost contract like St. Patrick's Day would be great, because, you know, there's a little bubble of content where it's like, if you have like a St. Patrick's Day movie that no one else has, you might just get picked up on that little fact alone. Valentine's Day, paying attention to the holidays, really. You know, I think Christmas movies are a little oversaturated, but there's a reason why there's millions of Christmas movies, right? Because there's a time in the year that comes around, and content acquirers are looking for specific movies. And if you have one of them, you're that niche, you ramp up. You have more of a chance to actually place your movie and get it sold. So I do pay attention to niches. And yes, is this another shark movie? Yes. But you know what? You get really creative with it. We're doing something. It's a shark movie that hasn't been done before. But yeah, there's a rhyme and reason for sure. Getting it ready for summer of next year.
Well, you have some suggestions for the names for the shark. Let's just go. Let's go through them quickly. Let's see. Patrick Lemire says Sharky McSharking. Clyde says more MAGA. Puppers says Valere Starchild. David Rayner says Gums. Fluffy says TT. Ryan Landis says name the shark Fonz in honor of jumping the shark.
Oh,
that's where that term came from. The Sharkinator or Bruce, says Solomon Thornton. Oh my God. Okay. And Danger UXO says, has there ever been a Karen Great White? Karen the shark. That could work. Here's a serious question here from Solomon Thornton. Fans matter. Thanks, Paul. Anyway, what was your challenge on shooting the film? You've made a bunch of movies.
Alien Shark. The challenge on Alien Shark specifically was the producers decided to shoot it in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So the biggest challenge on that one was there's no crew infrastructure in Gulf Shores, and there's no actors community. So I was literally pulling from Louisiana, as we had to cast a lot of our crew out of Louisiana, and then a lot of our actors were coming from Florida. So it did not save production. You know, you might get a couple good locations for a small amount of money in Gulf Shores, but it wasn't actually a great line producing move, because we had to cater in all our crew and all our actors from different states. And, you know, oftentimes it was a minimum an hour away for them. So you have to, you know, put them up. So yeah, that was the biggest challenge on shooting that movie, for sure.
And we've got some other questions and comments here. Patrick Lemire says, I like Fonz. So you got to name the shark the Fonz. And good question here. We'll make this, because we got to wrap up. We'll make this our final question from the chat. Back Fiendish 2 on Indiegogo. Fiendish 2 must be another campaign. That's why she's named herself that. But question for Paul, have you had any encounters with sharks in the wild? You look like a surfer dude.
Well, thank you. No, I actually have not had any personal encounters with sharks, thankfully. But I definitely have had friends that have had run-ins with sharks. So Pacific Coast Ocean, as everyone knows, depending on what time of year, can get a little dangerous. But no, I have not. Thank you.
All right. Well, Paul, I want to thank you for coming by for this. We are going to check in with you again. We'll have you back before the end of the month, before the end of your 30-day window, because it's 30 days for the campaign. And what's really interesting, you and I had a discussion about crowdfunding campaigns. If anybody needs some crowdfunding campaign advice from me, I'll send you what I sent Paul, which is a PDF of a document a friend of mine made. He raised $300,000 for his independent film. If you go to filmthreat.com/contact, I will send you that PDF. The Shark Trap campaign ends in 29 days. So it kicked off yesterday. So we're going to keep track of it. And we're going to be, here we go. Here's, we'll go to some more comments after Paul leaves us as we wrap up, but we're going to check in with you because I want to learn the lessons where you go and you made a choice to go on Indiegogo because you actually, technically you need the money to kind of finish the movie, but it won't prevent you from making the movie. It's just going to make the movie better having this money because I saw your resume of movies that you've made and completed is pretty amazing. And I know you can't talk about it now, but let's talk about the cast next time you come back because there's some amazing cast members that you have in this. So I'll put the link to the campaign in the description for this video on YouTube. So make it easier for you to click right through, but just go to Indiegogo.com and look up Shark Trap. You will find it. Paul, can't wait to have you back. You got to come back.
Yeah.
We got to see where you ended up, the trials and tribulations. Getting to launch it is one challenge. Getting to launch it, making it successful, you know, you're in for a ride. So good luck to you, Paul. Thanks for chatting with us, and thanks to everyone in the chat. They're loving it. They're loving it. So that's great.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys. And yeah, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
We'll see you back in like 3-4 weeks, right?
Perfect.
Before you end. We'll hopefully be celebrating. You'll be popping some champagne.
Yes, that sounds great. I like it. Okay.
All right. Take care, Paul. Later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I think it's important that our audience, because I know other people are trying to raise money for movies. Okay. Other people are trying to raise money for movies. I think it's important that through other people, this is a great suggestion. Shark-a-lot, like chocolates. I love it. The water is blood. Yeah, no, I love that campaign. But yeah, no, I think it's important that we pass on knowledge, right? We're here to I like to pass on knowledge. I don't keep a lot of secrets. If I've got information that can help you out, I'm going to give it to you. So we're going to keep track of this campaign. We're going to have Paul back before the end of his campaign ends, and we'll see what he learned. But we're wrapping it up today, folks. We went.
I'll just say that they're supporting these campaigns, there has to be an alternative to the big studio system, and the only way we can do it is through campaigns like this.